Okay, here we go. Good evening, everybody. On the air with VA3EWV. On the air with VA3EWV. We're going to be getting started there. It is 8 o'clock. Hey, look, I'm right on time. That's great. I'm on time, so that's great. this is Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor VA3EWV. Ernest here in St. Andrews, West Ontario. Welcome to this evening's AllStar and EchoLink Net, brought to you by On the Air with VA3EWV. We have some folks out there already. Thank you very much for being out there. VA3DZT, I see you're logged in. First one logged in, followed by James, VA3JPX. Then we have Kilo 3 Delta Mike out there as well. We're going to be getting started at the top. I'm going to just take a breath because I came straight from Costco. Not Costco, Costco. Because, I wanted to jump today because who goes to Costco on a Friday during the holidays? That was me. Okay, let me pause, get a breath, and we're going to be coming in tonight. I had some topics tonight. I have one topic that I want to bring up tonight to see how you deal with it. I had it happen to me for the first time. I've been reading about it. I usually don't post things like this, but I had it happen to me, and I think I took care of it. I actually have a video when it happened, and I'll see if you guys can go look at that and see how I did it. Let me just pause for the calls. I'll be right back. Got to catch my breath, people. Okay, we got V1DXW out there too. So this week, I think it was this week, I was doing Parks on the Air, and these two gentlemen came. Like I was taught to, when you go on the frequency, you ask us the frequency in use, but before you do that, you go 3 kilocycles up or more, 3 kilocycles down or more, and see if anybody there. Make sure there's nobody there. Call out several times. I call out about 6 times actually, and I pause between each one. So right as I get right in the groove and start doing my activation, and the power-ups, here they come, I hear this noise, and everybody that has HF, you know what I'm talking about. It's just this piercing sound. And I said, wait a minute, I'll be right back. And I went from, let's say, 721 to 722, and clear as day, these two gentlemen were sitting there talking. Now, me being new, I'm like, well, everybody can't hear. There are millions of people out there in the world. Everybody doesn't have the same, radio or power or antenna or this and that. There's a lot into it, right? So I'm like, no problem. I'm just going to try to weather the storm. Pause. I come back from weathering the storm. I'm trying to get the things, because the people who are very near me, they're just coming over. But the people in the distance, I can't hear them from nothing. So I have a decision to make. Do I QSY to another thing? And people are spotting me. I get out there and I just call. I don't spot myself. They're spotting me. So now if I move, I was scared to move. But you know what? That day I made a decision. I'm like, you know what? This is lots of space. I'm just going to move. I said, hey guys, I'm going to move. There's a station right there next to me. They're having a great conversation. I'm going to move on down. You'll hear me calling. Just scan up or down. You'll find me. No problem. You know where this story going. So I'll go up. And since I have my advance, I'm like, you know what? Let me just get out of the 20-meter thing where all the generals at. Let me just go to Quiet Town there. And I'll just work stuff there. Well, you know what? I hear that same sound again. Exactly 1 kilocycle up from me. There are the two guys there again. And they're talking. They're having a great conversation about the kids coming over for holidays and this, that, and other, and da-da-da-da. And you learn voices. That's one thing I'll tell you about radio. You might not know call signs, but you know voices. Like there's people that I talk to now doing POTA for 4 months. And even when I hear their mic, I know who they are because you hear these distinct features. So I try to weather it out there again. Let me pause. I weather it out a second time. You can hear it on the video. So I move a third time. And once I move the third time, I'm not moving anymore. But I'm not going to create a fuss. And some people, you'll hear one person on the net, one person on the video start complaining audibly that it was irritating him. And they were tuning up. Every time I would talk, they would tune. So I would pause and they would stop. I go to talk, they'd tune again. I would pause, they'd stop. And I was like, oh, this is like deliberate. So then I said, hey, look, I'm in Quebec. I'm not going to get to come here often to do this park or at all. So can I just get enough QSOs in to get this park done? And then it did not get quiet. I'll let you know that. But the other part of the story is I just went to FT8. So the question I have for you guys is tonight. I know that was a lot of talking. That's like 30 minutes of talk. Tonight is this. Have you ever dealt with anything like that where you were out trying to do something and someone came deliberately and was trying to mess with your day? How did you handle it? Did someone else say anything? I have a Monday Night Net here and we have a burper that burps all the time. He comes in and he's burp. I just ignore it like it's not there. But that's number one. Number two, some people are anti anything but CW, anti anything but HF. They don't want to deal with anything digital. Had I been that person, I couldn't have activated that part because these people were chasing behind me. So I just went to FT8 and then I just lost them in the distance, right? And the reason I wanted to bring that up is I never go out with just one mode of communication. So tonight, let me pause. That's a lot of introduction, but let me pause. So 6 minutes into the into the net here tonight, my question is simple. Have you ever dealt with anybody with QRM or whatever you call QRM that's deliberate? And did that just make you stop doing what you were doing? Or did you just move around? Or did you just change bands? Because a lot of that stuff was confidence with me, right? I haven't done a lot of changing my antenna from anything but 20 to 40. But if that's where everybody is, you won't be left alone. There are other bands out there. So don't be afraid is my story for tonight. Okay, we have lots of folks out there tonight I'm very happy to see, and I hope I don't lose anybody by yakking my mouth. VA3DZT, VA3JPX, VA3FZ, good to see you out there. K3DMM, and VE1DXW. We're going to go on the top of the list and bring in Simon there, VA3DZT. Go ahead, Simon. Uh-oh.
Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor, VA3DZT Portable. Well, good evening, buddy. Hope you're having a good day. Good evening to everybody else on the net. Hope everyone's ready for the weekend. I got to work tomorrow, but still staying positive here. Yeah, well, listening to your story there, man, it's unfortunate, but it's part of the hobby sometimes. I would let it get to you, to say the least. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is turn off the radio for 10 minutes and come back. No skin off your back. So, I can't even think of an anecdote really where I had something quite that serious, to be honest. But yeah, you get a couple things, get a couple people making noise and stuff. It's not really the end of the world. It's kind of part of the service, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say hi because I realize it's Friday. I need to be running your net here, so. Hope everything's good, and looking forward to seeing you and some of the other guys next Saturday at the dinner there. So I'll send it back to Net Control, VA3EWV. This is VA3EZT Portable.
VA3DZT, my friend Simon there, Portable tonight. Thank you so much for popping in. Yeah, and it did not put a damper on my day. I invite you guys to go out and look at that particular video that I put up. It's on the POTA playlist. It's when I activated a park in Quebec, my first and only park in Quebec there. And I was not even phased. You couldn't even hear it in my voice and things like that. More other people were phased. But just to let you know, it did not dampen my spirits. You're taught that everybody has to share, right? And it reminds me of that picture that floats around where there's like 30 urinals all lined up, and you have the POTA guy or the contester all by himself. Then the guy comes and parks beside him. I think you guys have seen them before. So it just made me giggle there. And I still wound up getting like almost 200 QSOs, so it didn't even bother my day. I think I got over 200. Thank you, Simon. We'll break with you. We'll bring it over to VA3JPX. James there from Ottawa. Go ahead, James.
Good evening, Ernest, and everybody on net tonight. I've been away the last week's net, and I think the week beforehand as well. Anyway, we're here tonight. Okay, where to begin with this? QRM, I'm very familiar with it.
I have been the victim of abuse in the Ottawa area, repeaters for years and years and years. So if it's QRM and they're deliberately causing a problem for you, then you simply go unresponsive for years and years and years, getting a response out of you. If you're trying to do POTA on 40 meters or 20, my recommendation would be to get away from those bands. Those are packed tight like a can of sardines, and especially if conditions are really good, it's going to be difficult for you to find a frequency and use it. You might want to try other bands. You might want to try 17 meters to 15, 12 and 10. You'd be surprised. And let's see here. Let me break for just 1 second. Yeah. So there's a lot of bands out there. You don't have to just stick to 40 all the time or 20. The other thing is there's something that's known as the rule of threes. Okay, threes and sevens. Now I don't mean as in 73s or anything else like that. I'm just talking threes and sevens. For an example, 7.2. Let's say 7.250. Let's say you want to start your POTA on 7.250. Well, so the way it works is your odds and your evens, okay? So you're probably going to find somebody on 250 and you're going to find somebody on 255, but you're not likely to find somebody as much on 7.253 and 7.257. See where I'm going with this? 253, 257. So you stick with the odds, okay? Now, I've noticed that for people that just want to rag chew, generally that's what they do. So they'll stick on the threes and the sevens, and they'll stay away from the zeros and the fives. So something to think about, Ernest. Maybe you might want to try that. Anyway, this is going to be my final. I'm really tired, so I'm going to say goodnight, everybody. Thanks for hosting, Ernest, and we'll pick it up next week. VA3EWV, VA3JPX in Ottawa.
VA3JPX. Thank you so much there, James. Glad you're back. Yes, I love seeing the pizza post. That's for doggone sure. I'll let you know that now. There's nothing like a homemade pie, that's for sure. We appreciate you being out there, like I said, and we'll see you around. And thank you for that. You know what else too? I just learned. Well, not to keep you, but what I learned, I went out of my comfort zone and I overcame things, and I didn't even let it bother me. Like it's like Mike was saying there, that's watching on Facebook. He says move on down the line. So since I have that vertical, with the vertical you have to adjust it and all that stuff. You have to put coils on it and this and that. So once I got it where it was, I was too scared to move around or anything like that, because I thought I was so dependent on spots and this, that, and other. But the lesson I learned out of all that is it doesn't matter. So nowadays I just go out. If you guys been following my adventure, I had a U-Haul with me, camera crew, hair, makeup, and I'm bald, so why did I need hair and makeup? It took me 45 minutes to an hour to get set up because I had to call friends and say, hey, look, I'm on there, and da-da-da-da. Now I go out on my lunch break from door to radio, back to door. Today I filmed some, and I rarely bring my camera anymore. You guys are probably saying, where are all the videos? But I go out the door, I'm back in the door, and I was over 100, I was at 86 QSOs and only had 30-something minutes talk time. So the thing puts how many QSOs an hour. So I'm just saying I'm growing in maturity in radio, and that just taught me not to have so many crutches. Thank you, James. We'll see you later on down the line there. Okay, let's pick it up with K3DMM. K3DMM. We got Denny out there. Come on in.
Hey, good evening, Ernest, VA3EWV. This is K3DMM, and good evening, everyone. First time for me here on the net. As Ernest said, the name is Denny, Delta Echo, November Yankee, and I am down in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, capital city of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And again, good to be with you. And I'll try to get on here as many times as I can in the future. Next Friday night, however, at this time, I will be behind the steering wheel of the car on my way back from Chicago, Illinois, going out to see the family for Thanksgiving. And let me just grab a break here. Okay, tonight's subject, Ernest, personally I have never had that experience. I am not an activator yet on POTA, but I'm an aggressive hunter. But I have heard these situations arise. One of the things that I've heard, and I could be in the minority here, is to basically just politely, and again, we're all supposed to be good operators here in amateur radio, to just ask them if, they wouldn't mind moving, that, you are in the middle of a POTA activation, and they are bleeding over, they are interfering, and they're either going to be good operators themselves and hopefully move for you, or unfortunately they won't. But again, no personal experience with that, but that's what I've heard people do. So I will send it back to you, and like I said, I will hopefully try to make this net as many times as I can, and it's been a pleasure. Glad to be here. Victor Alpha 3, Echo Whiskey Victor. This is Kilo 3, Delta Mike Mike.
Kilo 3, Delta Mike Mike. Thanks for being out there in the group. We appreciate those comments and stuff like that. And the great thing about this journey, because I've only been on HF, folks, so I got my HF license in April. But I sat there on FT8, and that was April 24th, so April was done. I didn't get my radio until like the second week of like May, right? So a friend of mine set me up with FT8. Not a lot of people in our club was doing anything digital. They were putting the sign of the cross. But that got me on HF at least, and start, at least working on and learning my radio. Then from there, a friend of mine, VA3EWV, he says, let's go down for a POTA activation. My other buddy, Bob, had introduced me to it the year before. He was down in his health there, so the other guy brought me at the end of June. And that gave me my confidence to get on the air there. And like I said, once you get something set up, it's kind of hard to get away from it. But I was so grateful for those guys being out there that day and chasing me around, because because I was being positive, I had people actually get back a hold to me and say, man, I can't believe that you just act like it wasn't even happening. But at the end of the day, when you come home with over 200 QSOs and you move 3 different things, I was more scared about forgetting to put in my logger that I had moved the band than anything else, right? So that wasn't even the issue. It taught me to move around and not be so dependent on spotting and stuff like that. So if I could give those guys a handshake and say thank you for, letting me overcome those obstacles that I thought I had, heck, I would send them a QSL, like a paper one, even. Anyway, thank you so much for being out there. We've talked to James now. We talked to Simon. We just got through talking with our friend Denny there. Let's bring it on down the line to VA3FZ. VA3FZ out of Summerstown. Come on in, Rob.
checking to make sure that this thing is working. Can you confirm, Ernest, VA3EWV?
Yep, you're definitely making a trip, and it's been like the beginning of summer since I talked to you last. You were showing me that candy of that tilting tower the last time I spoke to you. I'm sure you probably got it all up and at 'em now before the winter is, or you're not still working on it there, eh?
Hey, thanks for the confirmation. Yeah, you're right. Summer. It's been a long summer. A good summer, though. Busy working. We're just finally slowing down. The last 2 weeks I've tried to get in here and literally about 7:30, quarter to 8, fell asleep in my chair and woke up after everything was over. So this week I got up early because of the rain, so I had a little nap this afternoon, so I'd still be up. I'm going to pause for... yes, the tower is up and the antenna is on it. Dean came over last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and helped me run the hose, and we tilted it over and we got the antenna off of the old tower successfully without killing ourselves. And then it was closed, but it did okay. So then we got it installed onto the new one and flipped her back up, and it's up and working. So I got a couple more antennas to put on it within the next few weeks, but yep, she's all in place. Back to you, Ernest, VA3
VA3 that is great, a good news story, that's for sure. I like how you guys said, let me pause. I talked for like a week and a half. I know every repeater here in Cornwall, I know their timeout, and I just naturally, with my whole year, I've timed the repeater out PGC twice. That's it. And that's a miracle. Anyway, I got you talking about the antenna. Have you ever dealt with any QRM? Not. I think it's called something else. I'm still learning, but like deliberate QRM. Have you ever dealt with any of that? And if so, how did you deal with it? Or how did you not deal with it? Back over to you there, Rob.
Yeah, well, we share the same repeater and the same net sometimes, so we have the same puffball in common here. So I choose to ignore it because I can get a bad temper if I let stuff feed at me, and it's not worth it my time. So, but I'm just really surprised that Buddy's going on over 2 years of annoying people. It's just, I heard it the other night and I thought, oh man, that's crazy. That's really the only one that I've ever experienced. I can't think of any other ones, because anything else is, like the other gentleman said, if you don't like what's on the channel, change it. Back to you, VA3FZ.
VA3FZ in the group. Thank you so much for that, Rob. Yeah, that guy, I'm out there doing the Monday Night Net, and, just does his little thing, but now it's becoming a little bit more aggressive, and I will say this, James is gone now, but I've been meeting a lot of people in this hobby over the last year, and out of all the extracurricular things I've done all my life, this one I've met the most people, especially since, my nickname used to be the Mouth of the South. So when I go out there to activate, I'm coming home. I'm coming home with 100. If I have to go at gunpoint and get them, I'm coming home with at least 100, right? So anyway, with that being said, out there, with that person being a little bit more aggressive, even the folks here, they go, how do you deal with it? Because I'll go, okay, is there emergency traffic? Brr. Okay, nothing heard, da-da-da-da, and people are actually giggling. They don't giggle over the air. But since I ignore it so much, the person's looking for something, and it's just like, to me, it's just like, I don't know, like the sun coming up or the sun setting. There's nothing I can do about it, right? So I don't worry about it. But people have a giggle because every time something happens, I don't engage, and I was taught, I don't remember everything from my training, but you're not supposed to communicate with anyone that hasn't identified themselves with a call sign. And those two gentlemen that I was telling you about that you can hear, I posted the link in the chat for this live there. The camera's looking over the lake there, looking into Ontario from Quebec. And if you just pause through it, you'll hear the tuning over and over and over and stuff like that, and you'll see how I dealt with it. I thought I did really good. Okay, we're at the bottom of the list now with my friend all the way from Nova Scotia, who was here like at 1 o'clock trying to get on the net. Devin, VE1DXW, come on in, Devin.
VA3EWV, VE1DXW. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Ernest. We did have somebody here about a year or two ago that was always clicking on the mic or trying to dial the repeaters and stuff like that, but we finally got to stop, put there with knock on wood. But we actually had to call the radio guys and take a look at it and all that stuff, so we eventually did get it settled. But we used to go to UHF every now and again. He started on the VHF. I haven't really had any problem on HF. That's what we use.
Yeah, so that's the point I was getting at. When I met those guys in Ottawa, I kind of got distracted from my own story there. I met a group of guys in Ottawa there, and what they decided to do, they don't have an official club, it's just a group of guys, but they have about 5 or 6 repeaters in the area. I think it's like IRO, VE3 or VA3 IRO. And what they decided to do, it's all fusion repeaters. So there's no tone or anything like that, it's just fusion. And the reason why they went digital is because if you have fusion or DMR, if you're not running hotspots, I know it can get a little bit convoluted there, but basically if you just have standard stuff, it identifies who you are. So that's how they dealt with their stuff. They just went to fusion. And if you're going to talk with that club or talking to any of the members, you have to have a fusion radio. So that kind of took care of that. Now, not everybody has that ability, but I was like, oh, well, that's why I liked this EchoLink Net for a lot of reasons. When I first met Devin, he was in a hospital there, and he had an HF rig sitting at the house. But you know what? EchoLink made that happen. I have friends that live in apartments and stuff. I have friends that live in other states that I couldn't get through repeaters. So this is a great thing here. And EchoLink was my first radio. I had my iPhone here, and EchoLink was the first thing I had. Anyway, it's been a pleasure listening in and sharing with you all tonight. I'll be throwing up some more videos. I did one at lunchtime today. That was a hoot. I got out there and I hammered it down. And I stopped saying a lot of stuff that I usually say, when I'm doing the nets and stuff, or the activations. I don't say 5 over 9. I'm like 5'9". And I don't go through all this rigmarole. It's just like, Devin, you're 5'9". Rob, you're 5'9". And I just keep it going. So that's making my speed come up. Thank you, everybody, for coming in there. Any last things from you guys, if you want to, come on in there. Any last words from you, Rob? It's good to see you out there again, too. And I feel like going to have a nap after this. But, Rob, any last words from you there, over?
Call me back in. I had a chuckle when you're telling me how long you had for lunch and how many QSOs. And you don't video it. It's almost not believable that you can leave the key long enough so somebody can get the information through. So congratulations for that, having the willpower to hold back, because that's got to be something in itself. But I guess you need a number count, so that's cool. The other thing is Dean, he just wanted me to let you know that, I don't know the guy's call sign, but you know him, Bob Harmony, I believe his name. He passed away this afternoon, so he wanted me to pass that along to you. And we're going to try and get in here more, so thanks a lot for having the net. It was fun to get to use equipment we don't use too often. 7-3, VA3, I said.
Hey, VA3, thank you for giving me that message. Yeah, we just went to Bob's house not even a month ago and was helping to put up his tower there. So that's just heartbreaking. So thank you for letting me know that. Now, before you go, I want to let you know I'm using this new program, okay? And it's called, whatever it's called, WRL. So it's a new program that I log with. So today I went out and it shows the first time. It's always going to show your time, right? So let me just see what it is there. So I hit the thing at 1930. It couldn't have been that. Well, I think that was it. Yeah, 1939. How do I go back? I'm just getting used to this program there. But anyway, it says that I'm at 120 QSOs per hour. That's what I'm up to. That particular activation, I did 86 contacts. Now look, I only have 45 minutes and I have a timer. So it takes me 3 minutes to walk from 160 Elgin across. Hold on a second. You've been to downtown Ottawa, right, Rob?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So City Hall, you know where that's at. Right across the street is Confederation Park. I'm right across from City Hall at 160 Elgin. So I jaywalk my ass across the street because I have to get there in 3 minutes, right? And I hope I hit the light. So I blow out the door, jaywalk across the street to the City Hall. There's the stop there at the 4 intersection. I blaze across that, breathing heavy and stuff. I go to Confederation Park and I sit up on this little wooden box that they have electrical stuff in it. So I put my backpack down, I grab the vertical, it's out the bag just like that. 1, 2, 3, because it's the 3 parts, the spike, the shaft, and then the antenna. I fast walk myself to where I always put it, stick it in the ground, raise it up, throw the coax on it, throw the battery on the radio, take the radio out, tune that sucker, and I just go, I spin around just to see if I can hear anything, and then I just start going. And that used to not be me, right? So I start going and going, and then once I find the frequency that I'm at, then I put that in the logger, and then I just start going. And today I put the camera on because I want to. I do the camera for the most part not for just showing in YouTube. I'm very, very, very dyslexic, and somebody even called it on it today. So I do it on the camera because every time I upload my stuff, people say, I didn't talk to you. So I have to go through the video, and then I share within the video, and I'm like, yes, I did talk to you. But I'm getting a number or something mixed up like that. But yeah, so 86 QSOs, 3 minutes to walk across, 3 minutes back, so that's 6 minutes. I forget how long it takes me to get the antenna, but altogether, I have it within 15 minutes. Walking across the road, and putting the antenna up and tuning the radio and all that, that's 15 minutes. Okay, so I have 30 to talk. So I did 86 QSOs in 30 minutes. That's where I'm at now because I'm shitting and getting it. Back over to you.
Well, that's impressive. Yeah, you got everything dialed in if you're managing to do it that quickly, and the willpower's definitely there. You're like a crazy man. I can just imagine the people you work with as soon as that 5 to lunch comes around. Back to you, VA3EWV.
Okay, and I just have to get this out to let you know. You'll hear it on there because I was doing some tweaking tonight. It used to be, this is Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor activating Charlie Alpha 6345 CQ Poto, like 15-minute comment. Just like it took me 30 minutes to get the net started. So I'll go through that, then they would say something, and then I'm like, oh, hey, Jimmy, how you doing there in Atlanta, Georgia, da-da-da-da-da-da, 6 minutes later. And then I go to the next person. I could see those people that hunt a lot probably just rolling their eyes. Now it's like I hear the call. I'll hear a couple. I wish I could. I'll try to get a video next time. That might slow me down, but I'll hear a couple. I'll write them in and keep pressing enter because I know I heard them good. And then I'll take the one off in the distance and I'll get that one. And then I'll come back and say, VE3FZ, you're a 5'9", right? He comes back. He says, da-da-da-da. I'm like, thank you so much, Rob. VE1DXW, you're a 5'9". He goes, whatever. Then I say their name. Because if they come back and they say their names wrong, I know I got the call sign wrong. But I've tweaked that so much now. I don't even like to say 7'3", because if you say 7'3", they want to come back with 7'3". So I'm just like, you're 5'9", Randy? QRZ. Like, that's it. 5'9", and then I'm like, QRZ, and then I take the next person. So yeah, I'm waiting for field day. I'm gonna be a ready son of a gun once field day comes around. I'm gonna be putting some logs in there. Let me tell you there. Okay, I'm not gonna hold you up. Thank you so much for being out there, Devin. Any last words from you before we let you go? Okay, nothing from Devin. Thank you so much for being out there, Rob. You have a good rest of your evening. I'm going to go get me some supper. And good night now. We'll talk to you later. Okay, that's it, folks. that was a good little net there. 35 minutes of good fun in the sun there. Thanks to everybody for coming out and everybody that's watching. I'll get this loaded up to Facebook, to YouTube there. And everybody have a good rest of your day. This is On the Air with VA3EWV. Let me see if I can get us out of here with one of my ham radio songs here. If it takes more than 2 seconds, I'm going to bail on it, okay? But I'm going to try to put one up here and get us out the door with a ham radio song. So let me see, ham radio fun. There we go. Let's see. Let's see if this one will work. Here we go.
It's up high. Good friends, good vibes under clear blue sky. Static free, we sipping drinks, summer's in the air. Frequencies tuning, ain't got no care to spare. Radio games playing all day. Contact 73 regards, punching back, have a blast. Work the world, fuzz its ass. Wave that signal strong from coast to land. Transmitting joy, ain't no better pastime. Laughter in a static shared on every line. Round here we groove, mix of beats and waves, harmony electric in these radio days. Radio games playing all day. Contact 73 regards, punching back, have a blast. Work the world, fuzz its ass. Wave that signal strong from coast to land. Cranking on, find that golden flow. Station to station, let the good times roll. Echoes travel wide, far beyond the range. Friendships on the airways, strange but not strange. From dusk to dawn, we chatter and we laugh. Frequency of language, speak and telegraph. Hearts connected, bound by unseen thread. In this summer fun, every moment lasts. Radio games playing all day. Contact 73 regards, punching back, have a blast. Work the world, fuzz its ass. Wave that signal strong from coast to land. Crank the knob, find that golden flow. Station to station, let the good times roll. Echoes travel wide, far beyond the range. Friendships on the airwaves, strange but not strange. Crank the knob, find that golden flow. Station to station, let the good times roll. Echoes travel wide, far beyond the range. Friendships on the airwaves, from coast to land.
Alright folks, y'all have a good day. This is On the Air with VA3EWV.
Radio
and
games playing all day.
That's right.
Contact 73 regards, punching back, have a blast. Work the world, fuzz
Get
its
the harmony in
ass. Wave that signal strong from coast to land. Wave that signal strong from coast to land. Crank the knob, find that golden flow. Station to station, let the good times roll. Echoes travel wide, far beyond the range. Friendships on the airwaves, strange but not strange.
good night everybody.